Hey guys, and welcome back to LostWinds. In today's part, we're going to be traipsing through the old mines, which I think it would be safe to say, Richie, is the single largest area in the entire game.
Oh god, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much anybody who has played LostWinds before will probably be able to tell you a story of getting lost in the old mines at some point or other.
Well, mines are literally made for people to get lost in. I remember having a jaunt through a mine or two in another download title, SteamWorld Dig, which is fantastic, by the way. I heartily recommend it, but mines always evoke a kind of mysterious, foreboding kind of atmosphere, so it just makes sense.
Oh god, definitely. I mean, it's part of the reason why they end up getting used in Until Dawn, which recently came out, and plays a hell of a lot on horror tropes.
What is Until Dawn? I've heard it's like a David Cage game, I've heard it's like a horror game. What's going on?
So basically, it is a David Cage-esque game in the sense of it's very narrative-driven, it's got quick-time events, you make decisions which change the course of the story, but done a hell of a lot more successfully.
We were not paid to advertise Until Dawn, I just want to put that out there.
Yes. I've just been watching a bunch of videos. It's mostly because, for some bizarre reason, I just saw people talking about it and thought, I need to look into this. And yeah, it plays a hell of a lot on horror tropes, and so you get people dying in numerous different grotesque ways, and all of that jazz.
You done shilling the game now, mate?
Yes, it's time for us to, break some more wood with fruit.
Of course, just launching it at light speed and shattering these wooden barriers with friggin' fruit.
Because that's definitely possible.
Yeah, of course.
He says when talking about a world that's got a wind spirit and evil black glob things.
I think we were discussing this, during the little break we take, every 3 parts or so. It's a very, ancient world, and the tribe, from what we see, Toku's, community, I guess, they're all very rustic, very naturalistic, they have stone houses. There's a lot of, hydroelectric stuff, I think, going on, but a lot of stuff here seems, very, industrial, mechanical drills and so on. What's going on with that? Because in media there always seems to be there was this ancient race and they were somehow more technologically advanced than what we have today. Just see Skyward Sword, for example.
It is a very, very, very common thing in media. I have no idea, have a partial idea of why that is the case, because if you think about, the ancient Egyptians, how the hell did they build the pyramids?
Seriously.
So on and so forth. So I think that's where that kind of interest is rooted, because obviously we know so little, technically, about, ancient Mesoamerica, and Egypt, and even ancient Greece. And we want to know, and so I think that's why we have this whole obsession with incredibly advanced ancient civilizations in our fictional media.
I love here how they're using, another aspect of the wind, and it's not, propulsion or anything, it's more like sonar.
Well, it's sound, because, I mean, if you think about it, sound is entirely based on, kind of, airwaves.
Yeah, it's just airwaves passing through the bones of your ear and being translated by your brain or some shit like that. I don't know science, I'm paraphrasing here.
I mean, if my memory of science from many years ago is correct, that sounds about right to me.
Yes, score 1 for Anton! That was a bit of an awkward transition, Toku. What's going on?
Yeah, I think that my Wii either was having a little bit of a hissy fit, or it's not a fan of the mind, or it just could be that it hadn't been used properly in a while, so it was just I can't deal with all of this, I just want to stop.
I love how this glob here, he thought he was at the top of the evolutionary tree, getting rocks and whatnot on his person, and then he gets used as a projectile.
I know, part of me feels sorry for them, because they're kind of adorably dorky.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's just you want to kill me, so yeah, no, you gotta die.
So, tell me about your experience with the old mines, mate. How did you fare?
I remember getting lost in it for quite a while. It's something to do with either this area or one of the areas that we're going to go to.
Yeah.
Where it's very difficult to tell what you need to do, because you may not necessarily think that you're going to be able to get to that wooden platform that you have to get up to get the boulder. And so you end up running here and just thinking, I know I need to get to that kind of poyak, which I think is what the plant's called.
I think that's about right, yeah.
Yeah, but you're just like, but I can't push everything at the same time. So obviously you're meant to think, well, I'll go back and try another route. But it's a bit of a dick move because it's actually quite difficult to get up to this platform.
There's a lot of platforming in the old mines, and I guess it should reach its zenith in what is essentially the final dungeon of the game. And what puzzled me the most is not so much how do I jump up to this platform, but where do I go to find the exit? You know, where do I have to propel myself?
Oh god, definitely. I mean, it's kind of a running thing. I mean, you may or may not have spotted a very, very attempted to be subtle, but wasn't very subtle kind of crossfade, because we had a bit of trouble in this particular room, because...
Don't know what that says about us when we have, like, 2 FAQs open.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it was just like, I think I was trying to run from memory at this point. It was just like, I know I need to do this, because I need to get up to a certain area to get something, but then I forgot it, and... because you need to get this ball to be able to get over to get another thing, to then be able to get the Melodia idol, which is sitting up on this platform above us.
And granted, if you're not going for the idols, because again, they don't give you anything in this game, yes, in the sequel, no here, then it's going to be a lot easier, but you're not going to know what the correct path is until you've beaten the game once.
Exactly, so it's frustrating, but you deal with it, really.
Welcome to the HFC Our Casuals playthrough. Enjoy your stay. So you got to bring that ball all the way down here, but how to bring it over here? Well, you use the slipstream, of course, don't you, Richie?
I mean, you can do. You can use the gust, you can use the poyak. You've got options with this one, thankfully. Also, you can see the brain ticking there, just like, right, how do I get this over? I think this works.
God damn it, Richie. You got there in the end, mate.
Yeah. This is why I don't tend to play puzzle games. I mean, I do, and I do enjoy them, but, like, I don't do well with things where I get stuck, because then I get frustrated.
And then you pull out an FAQ and read it, silently weeping to yourself.
Yes, pretty much.
That seems to, like, be me. It just happens in the end with every video game. It's a very depressing kind of experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've just reached the point now where it's just like, well, if I want to kind of like 100% the game and there's an FAQ and I don't want to have to worry about replaying the game to try and get everything, I just use a guide. It's a very lazy way of playing, but it's just like, I've got kind of not that much time anymore, so it's kind of making it easier for me.
Tickety talk, Richie is on the clock, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, on a technical level, I probably am not kind of out of time to do stuff, because at present I am unemployed. But,
It's John the club, mate.
yeah, but eventually, hopefully that will not be the case, and then I definitely won't have time to sit around and play like a 100-hour RPG to completion without something telling me where to go.
Also, there's like, I guess this is the discuss the benefits and like pros and cons of using an FAQ part of the playthrough, but sometimes there will be like elements of a game where it will be like, oh, okay, you can just get everything in this area. Sometimes it will lock you out of getting it, and you're not going to know that. So that's when having an FAQ on standby helps.
Oh, exactly. And also, I mean, like, sometimes there are puzzles where they may be easy to figure out, but you may just be having a bit of a blank moment, and you just need something to just get your brain working a little bit more.
Technically, this is game design discussion, so I'm going to allow it. No need for a retake here. The fire effects are surprisingly good. You'd think they'd be a little bit more sloppy because the water just looks like a bunch of like blue particles for the most part, at least when you're chucking it on stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think because they go with a very, very, very stylized flame, so I mean, it looks in a way like the Japanese art paintings, so it doesn't necessarily need to have any realistic look to it, which would ruin the effect.
I'm not saying the water looks bad, by the way. I'm just saying it looks like a bunch of globes pasted together at times.
Yeah, the globes in general are pretty bad in terms of design. Like, everything else has got, like, it's a simple look, but it's very charming. The globes just look stupid.
I think they're meant to, though, is the thing, because evil apparently equals stupid in most media.
Yeah, I don't know why, because you'd think evil should technically be terrifying, and this is the enemy that I hate.
Oh, yeah.
It jumps out of the ground and then drags you down. And it's just like, ah!
Scintillating commentary, Richie. Exquisite. Man, the old minds are long.
Yes, they are just ridiculously long. I mean, the thing is that this isn't actually one of the longest parts, and we have just found the memory chest. But because you've been jumping between all the areas so quickly, you kind of end up this just seems so long.
Okay, let's go have a chat with Dio. Hopefully he's given us, or getting ready to give us, another bit of plot-crucial information.
Pretty sure he's just going to tell us where the next memory chest is, because I believe we have 2 left.
What a specific order of recollection.
I know, it's kind of just like... Because obviously he split his memory up so that he wouldn't get found by Balasar. But for some bizarre reason, his brain thought, I know what will work. I will lock my memory partially in 4 different chests. Well, 5 if you count the one that we opened to start with.
Oh.
And each one is going to unlock the location of the next one. How did he decide which ones he did first and which ones he did later?
What if your sequence broke and then Dio, was memory broken or something?
Exactly. I mean, also, he must have been very, very, very careful to come up with this plan, because to get to, that one we needed Vortex, and to get to later ones we needed Vortex, but what if we tried to go and get one of the later ones then? We would have been completely stuck.
So you're having fun with the cursor here, mate?
Well, I mean, why not? You've got a pointer, it does stuff, you might as well have a little bit of fun.
I wasn't too abrasive when I called you out on your sloppy Wiimote ship, was I?
You were entirely too abrasive, Tom, saying I was too erratic, god damn you.
That is the textbook definition of erratic, I think you'll find. And I used the word textbook correctly, thank you very much.
Indeed you did, and I was too erratic, but the thing is that when you're kind of just pointing at the screen for so long, it's just you get bored, so you're just I just want to have fun and just spin it around a lot.
I feel really bad for shit-talking the water now, because it does look great, it just looks a tad odd when you splash it on stuff, but I'm nitpicking right now.
Well, I mean, the thing is that the game's so small that we've kind of covered the majority of the features.
Yeah, so let's just make up stuff to shit on the game. Why not?
Yeah. I've basically run out of useful backstory information. I mean, the best I've got is a small thing about the music and the reception of the game, but that is it.
Save that for the final part, my friend.
I mean, it's like a sentence. But, the Jumbrella Cape. So this is an item which allows you to help Toku to glide to places, and it's amazing.
It's basically one of those propeller plants whenever you want one, you know.
Exactly, and I mean the thing is that it's so much fun to use. You don't actually end up having to use it that much, it just unlocks a couple of Melodia idols, but it's a very, very satisfying item to use throughout the game.
So we've just got the one memory chest to unlock now.
No, I thought it was 2. Because we've got one which is at the top of Witherfalls.
Okay.
And then we've got the last one which is hidden away in the old village, I think.
You were very nearly going to say mines there, weren't you?
No, I was just kind of I know it begins with old, at least I think it begins with old, I just can't remember what the last bit was.
Why the hell is everything in this world so goddamn old?
I don't know.
That is a serious waste of food, Toku. Being an ancient civilization is no excuse for waste. Richie, we don't need to take the boulder with us, okay? It's not a pet.
We do need to take the boulder with us because we need it to break down this fencing that they decided to put up.
Well, I guess we'll find out the reason for it next time on Lost Winds.